So we are left with DC and CSK. So we'll
Yes.
finish with the greatest finisher of all time. So let's take DC
Yes.
first. So now with Pant at the helm of DC's decision making, so do you feel this will help them, or maybe he's too immature to handle such a pressure situation?
My feeling is, I mean, it's a good responsibility to have. He's done well recently, so he's got a lot of limelight. But personally, I feel, he's little young to handle captaincy. He would have rather focused on his keeping and batting. He's just kind of learning, and batting, of course, he's shown his talent. Nobody doubts that. But his shot selection has always been an issue. But recently, he's kind of worked on that. Now, having just improved these two things, now you've given him captaincy also, uh, which is, also you're dealing with players like Dhawan, who's a kind of veteran, Ashwin, who's again kind of veteran. So, I think it is little difficult for him. I would have liked, him to only focus on his batting and win the matches for DC. Giving him captaincy again is a big risk. I hope they don't see, they don't have to switch captaincy midway during the series, which we've seen sometime in the previous years. Hope that doesn't happen because it'll, do a disaster to his confidence.
Yeah. So, Mike, your
Uh,
your views on the captain, and then we'll quickly move to the top six according to you.
See, the reason for him being the captain is that there is no guarantee of any other player playing in the 11. To be frank, right? You would think that Dhawan will probably play all matches, but he was never in form when this decision was made, and they were not sure that he'll play. Then Ashwin, he may not play because your Aksar is first choice bowler, a spinner to play. And if you want a leggy, then you will go with Amit Mishra and not with Ashwin. And depending on situations, you may switch. If you make him the captain, then he has to play all the matches. So that's probably another reason why they didn't go. And I'm happy that they didn't choose to have a foreign player captain. So that's a good thing. So uh, again, we had Rahane as well, and Rahane is also not guaranteed a spot in playing 11. Probably Steve Smith, but depending on how you choose your foreign players, Steve Smith may not play all matches, right? So they didn't have a lot of options. Even though I also personally didn't like that he was chosen as a captain, but I don't think Delhi had a lot of options from that perspective. So it's a good opportunity for him. He has never captained, as far as I know, even under 19 or for his
No,
Ranji teams or
No.
anything. He has never captained. So it'll be very different. He is very young as well. So definitely there will be players around him who he would take help from. Given he is a wicket keeper and he has always been that talkative person, or always saying behind the stumps, I think he'll probably be okay. Uh, but I just hope he doesn't have add a lot of pressure on him. We have seen people not doing as well. We have seen
Yeah.
last IPL, Dinesh Karthik gave up captaincy. He said, "I want to focus on my batting," and similar stuff happens with everyone. So yeah, that is a challenge. I don't think he's one of those who comes under pressure. So I'm less worried about that. But I hope he does well. That's all.
So how do you see the 11? I mean, of course, Prithvi and Dhawan will start off. I feel with Smith at three, probably Rahane at four, then Rishabh Pant at five. So how do you see the top six? Shashank bhai, your
Uh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Dhawan, my feeling was Dhawan will play all the matches. He is a fixed spot. He's never, I think, missed a match because of his non-performance or poor performance. He's always performed. He's always played. I think IPL he's been very successful,
Yeah.
at least with Hyderabad, and even in Delhi last year, he's been very consistent.
Yeah.
So my first choice for captaincy would have been possibly Dhawan because again Ashwin and Rahane are not confirmed their spot in the 11. as Mayank rightly mentioned. Other option was only Dhawan. I think Dhawan and Shaw will definitely open. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
Smith at number 3. Now, if Hetmeyer comes in, then Shimron Hetmeyer and Rahane will have to swap positions if he is in. Because 4 foreign players I see is Stoinis, Smith, one fast bowler. Rabada is not playing the first match, so it could be either
not there.
Chris Wokes. Yeah, so Chris Wokes maybe is a likely option. Even Nokia is not there in the first match. So Rabada
Oh,
and
okay.
Nokia both missing the first match. So Chris Wokes will be there, and then Hetmeyer might come in. But in the longer version, of course, Rabada and Nokia have done very well together. So there is no doubt that these two will come in. Then Smith and Stoinis. So Hetmeyer will go out, Rahane will come in. But this time, I think Hetmeyer will be there. So Rahane and Hetmeyer might switch position. And then, of course, Pant. So we have Dhawan, Shaw, Smith, Rahane, Hetmeyer, Pant, top 6. But Stoinis is I think he's a game changer. He's been very good in the last, I think, one or 2 years. Even before that, 1 or 2 series he's had really well. Yeah, he can bowl well, he can bat well. He's a good all rounder.
Yeah. I think with Shreyas Iyer gone, it's a big hit, like
Yeah.
a huge hit to the balance of the side. And had they lost a foreign player, it would still have been okay. You can fill in with another person, but it's very difficult to replace Iyer the batsman, Iyer the captain. Easy to replace, fine, not a big deal. So I don't remember, but probably he scored around 500 runs even in last IPL, and he's someone who is who will always perform and never come into limelight, even while playing for India. It's the same thing. He'll not come into limelight, but he has always been performing well. So, and now we're talking about replacing him with Rahane in the 11 in a T20 side, which is not the right way to go. And Smith has also, I mean, I would personally not have Rahane in my 11 if I can, but I don't see a lot of options at the moment.
At
So
least for the first match, yeah.
we'll have to play. Yeah, we'll have to
So
play.
if Hetmeyer goes out, then Rane has to play, and then you'll have Nokia and Rabada
No,
as
but
two fast bowlers.
do you do you see a very strong top? Who are their 7 batsmen? Shaw and Dhawan
So
are definitely opening. Pant
Smith,
is, I believe, 4 or 5. So these
yes,
3 are fixed. Stoinis is
Smith,
also fixed. He has to play. So these 4 are fixed.
Smith
Okay.
is fixed.
Smith is
So
fixed. Yes.
Smith
Steve
is
Smith is
5.
almost
Now,
fixed. Yes.
Not
Then you
five.
so
are left
these
with
5
Smith
are,
might be three. Smith might be
yeah,
at
Smith
three
would
or
be
Smith
four.
3.
will
I'm
be
saying
at 3.
5 players.
Yeah.
5
5 players,
players.
yeah.
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 Rahane and Hetmeyer are the 6th and 7th players. You don't have a choice.
And if you do that, then you cannot play both Notche and Rabada or Rabada
Yes.
and Vokes. You,
So
you, you
Hetmeyer
can
will
only
go
play
out.
one.
Hetmeyer will go out. Then you'll play both Akshar and Ashwin. There is no other choice. I don't see, or a new
Yes.
domestic player which we don't know of.
Akshar is 7 in that case.
Akshar is 7, yes.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
domestic
so
player might
that
come in
that
whom
is
we don't
where I
know.
see a problem. That is where I see a problem. If they because they are forced to play Aksar at 7. That is the thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and with Aksar at 7 and Rahane at probably 4 or 5, depending on how things are going. If you do
So
that,
sorry,
then
why Hetmeyer, why Akshar at 7? Only when Rabada and Nokia are in, right?
Yes.
Then we don't have Hetmeyer.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So that, but then we'll have an
yeah,
extra bowler. So I think they will go in with a domestic in place of. So one of us, Akshar and Ashwin will play if they have a batting all
or
rounder
both,
or both.
or both. Yeah. So
Unless
see, Aksar
unless we
will
are missing
definitely play
somebody.
all matches unless
Yeah,
there is injury. Aksar will definitely play all matches, and then one of
Akshar will
Ashwin
play.
or
Yes,
Mishra would come, depending on whether
yes.
you want to spinners. And given they don't have, probably Smith can be that leggy to give you a couple of overs, and you may be okay with 3 pacers and Stoinis in that sense. So you
Yeah,
can add another batsman, so something like that can be done. But the
yeah.
balance
Because
of the side is
Ishant
hit
will continue to
badly.
play unless he is injured. Ishant will play. Then you have Nokia, Rabada, Ishant, Aksar, and Stoinis, and one more
Yeah,
spinner, maybe Ashwin. or a
Ashwin or
batting all
Mishra,
rounder.
depending on who you want,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you
yeah.
want Smith to throw a couple of overs. Even
Right.
I remember even Hetmeyer has bowled a few overs at
Yes,
times,
yes, yes. But I think six
so
bowlers are
they
good
may
enough. I think
consider strengthening there.
yes. I think they can finish. I think they have good firepower throughout. Hetmeyer on his day, if he continues to play, then he becomes a Jamaican. To be honest, although he's not one. And Stoinis definitely can finish matches. Pant, of course. So you have these people coming at four,
No,
five,
but
six.
Hetmeyer may not play because they would
Yeah, I
want
agree, agree,
Smith to
agree.
play.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Hetmeyer may
I
play
think if
first match, but
you
not after
know,
that.
it depends actually. Last year somehow Nokia and Rabada both had great season. So it may so
Yeah,
happen that Nokia, if he doesn't deliver in one or two matches, the team may be tempted to have another batsman and have an Indian bowler like Umesh Yadav. So he's not
Umesh.
a lesser known bowler. So you have Indian domestic bowler who can bowl four good overs. Then that way you can drop
Exactly,
Nokia
and
and
that's
get
why
another batsman.
in my 11, I don't have Nokia. I have Rabada, Stoinis, Hetmeyer, and Smith as my four foreign players
Right,
because I think that will give them the best balance because they don't
balance.
have. Otherwise, they won't be able to finish that well.
Yes.
That's the thing. So you will have to play Rabada, Umesh, and Nishan, which you'll have to see how it goes, and if the death bowling is an issue, you may have to come back to get in Vokes or Nortje, depending on how things are, uh, to replace
Yeah.
Umesh. Otherwise, I think you will have to start this way. You anyway don't have a few of them available.
Yeah.
So first match you will anyway have both Umesh and Nishant, and I think that may continue. Otherwise, they
Yes.
won't be able to finish with batting well. So
Yeah.
that's the problem which Iyer has caused. Otherwise, they were a very strong side last year.
So do you see DC in the top four, or last year they were the finalists? So without Iyer,
I
do they qualify, or too weak a side?
No,
no,
definitely
I
not too
think
weak. I won't say
yeah, I
they are too
think
weak.
maybe fourth. They may be four or
They
five.
can make it to top four. No wonder. I mean, they
Four
can definitely
probably.
Shaw with the current form that he is in. If he's able
Yes.
to perform, then he can do wonders at opening. And then you have players like Pant and Stoinis who can kill any attack. So, and to be honest, Rabada can do death bowling like any other, like no other in the world. I mean, if Bumrah is at the top, I think Rabada is not second. He's equally there. He's toe crushing Yorkers can kill the match. So I think they have the right people to do the job. You can't have a better number four, number five batsman than Pant at this point of time, and you can't have a better death bowler than Rabada. At least top three in the entire IPL, you will have Rabada, Bumrah maybe, but Rabada is equally there. So definitely a side which can make it to break into top four. No wonder, no doubt.
Yeah, but you also have to see that Ishant is coming after a long break.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
Umesh is coming after some kind of break.
yeah,
Uh, so, so your death bowling, you need both people to do well. If only one is doing well, and that's why you need that partnership. And that is what was working for them last year because they
no,
had
no, agree.
Nokia bowling alongside, and both were doing very good,
Both were doing well,
right?
but
So
I think these are
without
players.
that
You
partnership, it doesn't work.
they have compared to if you look at other sides, they still have players who are matured. I mean, they've played a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
cricket.
yeah.
On their day they might they may not perform, but Umesh, Ishant, even Aksar, when it comes to bowling a 17th over, he's got a flat trajectory. So they can chop and change, make changes here and there, but the bowling, you don't see any a very very young teenager trying to impress somebody. There's nobody like that. It's all veterans. If
Yeah,
you
so
pick that 5 6 bowlers, even Stoinis
I see them
can, yeah,
qualifying in top four definitely.
definitely.
Like
I think it's a strong side.
maybe at fourth itself. That is where I see them at
Yeah,
fourth,
yeah, yeah,
and a lot will depend on how Shaw does.
yeah.
Shaw had a disappointing IPL
Exactly.
last time.
Yes, yes.
I hope he does this one, and he's the one who can fill that gap. which that void which Iyer is leaving, if he can fill that to some extent, then these guys still have a good chance.
Unfortunately,
So
we have
I'll
Rahane.
not on Shaw.
Rahane's problem is he's always done well at opening or at one down.
No
But
place.
now you can't have him play there. Now 2 down, 3 down, he's useless. So it's tough for him. He's in the side, but you can't do much. That's the
So
problem. Let's see how the
frankly,
Shiva
Rahane is not even in my 11. So my team would be Shaw, Dhawan,
lost you.
Smith,
Oh, yeah,
Pant, Hetmeyer, Stoinis, and at 7 you have Aksar. So
right.
because
So if Hetmeyer is in, then
I
Rahane is
don't
out.
see, yeah, then I
Yeah,
don't see Rahane playing.
agree. If
But
Hetmeyer is in,
only
Rahane is
when
out.
if your bowling doesn't work and you have to get one of Nortje and Vokes to come in and Hetmeyer goes out, that is when
Then
Rahane
Rahane will
comes
come in.
in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Rahane is no Hetmeyer. Okay, who are you
Yeah,
kidding? Rahane is no Hetmeyer. They'll have finishing problems there. So
yeah.
that is the problem which has come. Or maybe you have Rahane play at 3 and move Smith down
Yes.
at
Smith
4.
down. Yeah.
That is also something you can consider.
3 and 4 can
Let's see.
change. Rest number
Let's
5
see.
is Pant, number 6 is Stoinis. That's kind of
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with all those problems, we still see DC qualifying.
Right.
Yeah, I see them ending at 4.
Yeah. So I think it will be very good to see Dhoni versus Pant, both
Oh
keepers,
yes.
both captains, and the youngster aspiring to be the future Dhoni. So it will be a good
Please, please.
show.
Let's put that comparison to rest. Pant is Pant, Dhoni is Dhoni. Don't add
Best
any
answer.
more pressure to the guy. Right? Let him be himself. Let him enjoy what he's doing,
Yeah, it'll be good to see his
and
captaincy
let it
actually.
be.
Yeah.
I really have not seen him thinking that much. He's always keeps blabbering behind the stumps and all the time keeping and batting. It'll be good to see another version of Pant. Hope he doesn't
Yeah.
affect his batting. That's the main thing. If Pant falters, then there's nobody saving DC. Pant and Shaw.
And it will be interesting to see when Ashwin is bowling, what
Yes.
instructions Pant can give to Ashwin and whether.
Ashwin Bhai. If you miss the catch, then Ashwin Bhai.
I don't think he'll give any instruction. He'll just say, "Ashwin bhai, sahi hai, sahi hai." हाँ यही डालो विकेट मिलेगा नहीं खेल पा रहा है he'll do all that. I don't think he can give any instruction.
Okay.